All right, hey guys. So yesterday I had some talk about the new masteries for supports, and I just want to go over some of the changes on this patch for supports. It's a lot of changes, so I kind of want to go over some of them. So overall, pretty much supports get more gold, even though you don't have the mastery from level one, where you get extra 50 gold. But now you do get more ambient gold, so throughout the game you just get more gold in general. And then one thing to note is that 80 carries actually get a lot more damage early game. So be very careful when fighting, as before when you take early game runes and whatnot, you would be stronger than 80 carry, but now maybe not so much. Every 80 carry pretty much got 5 extra AD, and that's a lot of damage. But Masters kind of negate that a little bit, but still, 80 carry is a lot stronger, so be very careful when fighting. The first big change I'd say is the mana regen buff. Pretty much all the supports minus Thresh got buffed in terms of mana regen. And that's really good for all the supports minus Thresh. Helps you spam skills more. And honestly, this probably means that in lane, it's more about landing your skill shots versus getting those autos in, since you don't I do as much damage from autos as AD carries. So keep that in mind. Grievous Wounds is the next big change. Honestly, I really don't like this change. It makes it so I mean, they introduced it into an item, which kind of makes sense, but at the same time, nerfs Ignite, especially against lanes like Soraka, where you want to, in some cases, focus the 80 carry and burst them out real quickly, especially before Soraka hits 6. But with this change, um, the healing isn't reduced at all. Before it was reduced by 50%, but now it's reduced by 0. So that's a really big buff when trying to focus 80 carry against a Soraka lane. So, I mean, this combined with like um, mana regen buffs as well could make Soraka more of a priority pick, but honestly, she's always been a really strong pick in the 2v2 lane, not so much in 2v1. So I'm not sure about how pro play works, but in 2v2 lanes, it's actually even more difficult to pick your support early if you cannot deal with a Soraka pick, if they like eventually counter pick you. So keep that in mind. Next one, Rift Herald is hard to say right now because we don't know how that's going to change the game much, but it might make the game more 2v1 base or 2v2 top lane where the bot lane goes top instead of bottom, depending on how strong the Rift Herald is. But most likely it'll be tuned down if that's the case, but I'm not sure what's going to happen there. It does look interesting though, but mm, not too much I can say about that. Game spawn time, I don't really know what to say about that. It's very it shouldn't do much. Ambient gold is the next big one. Pretty much you just get more gold. Supports always have the lowest gold on the team, pretty much 90% of the time. And after 12 minutes, you'll start to get 2 additional gold per 5, which is a lot. Just 4 gold per 10 actually, and adds up a lot. Gold per 10. Wait, wait, maybe it's typo. I don't know if it should be gold per 5 or gold per 10. Um, Might be. I think it's go per. Actually, I don't know, but we'll see. Okay. Next thing, bounty. Get punch some extra global gold if you kill somebody who's really fed. Um, what else? Okay. So the thing is, when the gold reward for minions go down, makes it so that people who don't CS get more percentage of the gold. So that means that supports do get more gold overall, but then early on they do get more gold. So this scales less. I don't really know. Uh, it's kind of whatever. Actually early on they give more gold, so never mind. Okay, next thing, teleport nerf makes it so that you don't have to deal with 8 TPs bot lane at 3 minutes into the game. That's pretty good. I hate the mass TPs. I mean, you're still probably gonna have mass TPs, but not as common, I'd say, which is a good thing. Next change would be these things. Not these things. APMs don't really matter for supports. Only really Zonia's, and that's getting wow. That's the cost going up significantly. That's actually a very big nerve. Um, Morgana probably cannot afford that very easily anymore, unless the gold increases actually for that much, but most likely it isn't. Let's keep going. Magi honestly could be a good buy for a lot of champions, like a Janna. You can just go for a Dark Seer early on, and then upgrade that as something like later, or you can just keep it as the Dark Seal, and is it's actually not a bad buy on those supports who can survive. Nerfing a lot of these tank items kind of sucks for supports, increasing gold, but since you are getting extra gold, it might just cancel out, might not be a big deal. Locket not got nerfed as well. Kind of the cost went down a little bit, but you get less stats from it, so Not too sure about that. Shouldn't really affect too much. Like 5 MR aura is noticeable, but it won't be noticeable enough. You'll still get it if you need it. Next big changes are actually support items. So you get extra gold every time a minion dies. For ancient coin, that's actually a lot of gold. You get 6 gold per minion wave in the first few waves, minus a cannon minion, and then in a span of a minute, you get at least 12 gold, 12 or 13 gold, and then that goes up. Sub Travis. Um, so that
Does it make you feel awkward when I'm staying behind you like this?
yeah, a little bit, man. Thank you, Travis. All right, so yeah. So how much is that? It's extra 2 gold per. Is it 2 gold per 10? Yeah, it should be 2 gold per 10. And then yeah, so some nerfs on the final item, which is kind of lame, but you get more gold in general. Same for Relic Shield, 2 gold per 10. Spell Thief is honestly the only one that kind of sucks. Um, it's very hard to get the proc, but if you do get the procs in, you get a lot more gold. It's just really hard to get the procs in. People don't usually come up to you and get autoed for free, like unless you're like a Morgana, where you can easily get the Spell Thief Edge proc, but most champions don't. I can't easily get it. So Spell Thief is probably still the worst one, or most situational one, but the Ancient Coin and Relic Shield are actually a lot better now. Mikhail's got buffed. Let's see, I got buffed. Honestly, the active is the most important part on it. So the MR going down by a little bit and the cost going down by 150 is completely worth it. The cost of Zeke's is going up though, which does suck. Shouldn't matter too much in the end, as it's still a strong item and it's pretty situational on your AD carries if they can make use of it well. But if you need it and you want it, it's still a good item. The vision wards and self wards, it's a hard change to evaluate because later on to the game, once you get your Sightstone, you don't ever get any more Vision Wards, and Self Wards is cheaper. So early on, it can have a big effect, but later on, it might not do much of anything. And I'm not sure if this change will have the impact that Riot's looking for, which is more skirmishes. I feel like maybe just because they're also nerfing the ward charges on Sightstone, so it feels like your wards just way more important to keep up, as you don't have extra wards to work with. So that is going to be interesting to see what happens to that. Um, Sightstone has a new upgrade, has, like I said, has one less ward as a charge. And these upgrades don't really do too much in terms of anything. They just combine your gold per item, just saves you a slot, which could be useful. When I combine with the potion change, I'll talk about in a little bit. Trinkets getting changed, kind of. I don't really know how this will affect the game. I think it's just like free gold, and it means that people will just have to make use of your sweepers and whatnot more efficiently since everyone gets them and they're all equally effective. So the oracles is probably the best one, uh, but it kind of requires some teamwork, so it kind of always sucks. Um, okay, yeah, so that's pretty much it for those things. Early on, these things don't really matter. Like I said, Dark Steel could be really good for champions like Janna, who can really use, oops, wrong button, who could really use the extra AP and this doesn't really die much. So it's a very interesting thing. I kind of want to try that out. Refillable pots, even though it's meant for the jungle, it, like I said, can work well because you have an extra slot since you can combine Go 10 item and your Sightstone. And this is mainly for champions who really need sustain, which I would pretty much only say Soraka. She can always use potions into the mid and late game, and that's just that's how she works. Elixir is not a big change. Boots of speed, cost going down to 25. That's nice, not a huge change. Boots of Lucidity is honestly a big change. I feel like this is a very good alternative to movies. It's always been, but now it's even better because you get the True Lucidity. I don't know why it's called that, but it reduces this cooldown on summoner spells, so it would really benefit champions that need to engage. And this combined with Distortion means that your summoner spells cooldown is way lower than your opponent's, probably around like 40%. I'm not sure how it stacks up, um, but I'm assuming it's around 40% since it's, or maybe like 35, something like that. And for like an Annie or an Alistar, this could be really good. I feel like Boots of the City will get nerfed in the future just because I think every mid laner will build this. So right now, spam it, I think it's really strong. But after a while, it might not be the same. The body nerf it. I feel like that's the case. So like I said, distortion got nerfed low. Okay, so 40% maybe. I'm not sure on the summer spell. Combined with the masteries and all that stuff. And Captain Boots is the last enchantment that kind of matters for supports. It's pretty unnoticeable, but it makes it so I think like for champions like a Janna or something like that can reasonably build it pretty early on just because it's really really cheap now. Instead of 600, it's only 450. 150 gold is actually a decent amount for support. So interesting change. That might be it. Let me see what else is there. Oh, Regiscore got nerfed a bit. I think they're trying to push it more for a tank to build it and not so much for support. So kind of sucks. 200 gold is a lot of gold, and I don't think people can really afford to build that. I'm surprised they're changing banner like this since previously they changed banner and lock it at the same cost, but now they're changing banner to be more expensive, I believe. Kind of sucks. Sheen actually could be a good item for supports now as well, as you just get extra CDR. It's pretty useful, but we'll see how itemization goes. That's how I feel like right now, but we'll see what happens. And is that it? Masters kind of talked about. Um, yeah, so honestly, the biggest things to look at are the Keystone Masteries. You can't see it from this tree though. Oh, wait. So the big ones are Thunderlords. Could be good for AP supports. Wind Speakers could be good for Janna and Soraka. I think on everything else it's probably not as good. Just because Janna and Soraka have multiple sources of healing or shields, and they are more defensive. They don't usually take any damage. Whereas most of the other supports will probably make use of Bonus Stone. Bonus Stone is actually really, really strong. Uh, well, okay, I actually didn't know it doubled to 8% when near an ally champion. So yeah, this is huge. I don't think that this is very balanced. I think this is the most broken mastery. So we'll see what happens there. I think that should be it for this patch. Um, all right, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time.